Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another playthrough of Final Fantasy XIII. I know it's been a while since I've played this game, but between Resident Evil Revelations 2 and Dragon Ball Xenoverse, I was trying to take as much time as possible into finishing those. I was able to complete Episode 2 of Resident Evil Revelations 2, and Xenoverse is pretty much done. I'm just trying to unlock some of the extra sagas that they have, but back onto Final Fantasy. We're gonna get this show on the road, and hopefully we will still be on track to completion. I can't wait till Final Fantasy Type 0 comes out. I already have my orders fulfilled through Amazon. They should be delivering on the day of release, so hopefully I'll be able to get that on recording very soon. So less than 2 weeks now. I'll be primarily doing the demo to Final Fantasy XV first, because I believe that's the most sought out piece of footage that everyone wants to see, everyone wants to learn about it. I most certainly want to learn about it. I most certainly want to see what the game has to offer, and maybe draw some speculation as to what kind of things they will add in the final product. But Final Fantasy XV as the demo, it's been getting a lot of positive feedback. They've been showing a lot of things like cooking, exploration, dungeon exploration, combat most importantly, but combat seems a little bit more clunkier. I know that I mentioned that a couple of videos ago. But like I said, in a couple of weeks we'll get a better idea of how combat actually works in that game. So we're actually in the point of the game where the tower part here is pretty much like the midpoint towards where we needed to go, to the city of Oerba, or Erba, the village of Erba, I should say. Right through this tower is pretty much our way into that, and then we will slowly segue into the endgame content, which I said before that I'm not really going to do much of. But I'm going to try to get through as many of these battles as possible so that we can expedite the storyline, if that's even a word or proper usage of the word. I also understand too, another topic I'd like to touch upon. I tend not to speak as much when you know, playing games like this, because pretty much it's a lot of repetitive like gameplay. So I tend not to, like, you know, speak as much. I know I get really focused on, you know, completing battles and bosses and stuff. I'm also trying to get into the flow of, you know, commentary and, you know, saying things that are relevant, saying things that are meaningful, touching on subjects that are meaningful. But in any case, yeah, this tower was actually pretty cool. I was kind of expecting it to be more of an intricate dungeon, but all it really is it's like a set of elevators. You unlock one level, and then you go up one level, and then you unlock the other elevator, and you keep going up and up until you eventually fight the boss. It's somewhat reminiscent of, I forgot what the name of the dungeon was, but in Final Fantasy XII, there was one of the endgame dungeons where you could fight, like at the very bottom there was like the ultimate weapon, or the ultimate weapon. But, yeah, it did have a very interesting design, and we'll see in a moment after we get through those double doors. These things are actually getting quite strong. I think the PC version is slightly different than the console release, because I noticed certain fights are a little bit more challenging than normally. I'm not opposed to that, but I don't remember these guys being so, you know, sponge-like. Sponge-like in the sense that they pretty much soak up all the damage I deal to them. Again, I haven't played the game in a long time, like years, so I'm not so sure if this is just the nature of it. Maybe I'm rusty. Maybe I'm not, you know, doing things right, using the right paradigms. But in essence, this is the tower right here. And in this room in particular, it's more significant when you're doing the hunts, because there are certain monsters that you fight in this particular room at the middle. They make it sound so complicated in the beginning, but once you start going through the dungeon, it's not so complicated. I don't remember completely how to solve this, but it's a pretty simple puzzle. The whole area is a very simple puzzle. Not gonna lie, that thing looks kind of freaky. Very similar to Anima's likeness from Final Fantasy X. For those who don't know who Anima is, it was like this fish-looking shellfish thing. I guess I have to do this mission. I guess this is their way of trying to motivate you to do the hunts in the game. I have to go this way. Very generous in the way that they point where you need to go. But yeah, this dungeon looks really nice. Simple, but nice. I knew that thing was gonna attack me. Oh shit. This thing's easy. I think it's mostly weak to magic. Most flans are weak to magic. There we go. Now just juggle it and kill it. This is the next one. Yeah, this particular mission, like, it's all in succession, so you never really get lost. Always pointing you in the right direction. Later on, you will encounter a lot of these statues, which consist of hunts that are significantly harder, and you would need to be properly developed in order to take those hunts on. The difficulty does spike, though, at the end game, especially with the optional bosses. But, like I said, as long as you develop your characters properly, as well as the weapons that you use, especially the accessories, then you'll be able to tackle those side missions or hunts no problem. I guess since I'm doing this mission, let's talk about something that was announced this week. Metal Gear Solid 5. We already knew it was coming, and we already knew that it was almost nearing completion, but we got a firm release date for September 1st, and it was actually leaked by IGN Italy. Kind of funny that something like that happened, but I was kind of disappointed because a lot of the release dates in our system at the store I work told us that it was going to be releasing sometime in the spring, but you know, I thought it was a little bit too good to be true, especially since there wasn't many like press or not that many videos or trailers, because usually around the time that a game is about to release, they're advertising the crap out of it. So they even showed a really cool release date. The only thing I was disappointed was the fact that the PC version releases kind of like 2 weeks after the console release. So PS4 users, PS3 users, pretty much every console gets it ahead of time compared to PC. And you know, I really wanted to get it for PC, but at this point I already have my capture card. I may as well just record it on my PS4. Because I don't want to miss out on the story, and you know, I kind of hate that feeling of being late to the party. Pretty much like, you know, seeing the ending late when everyone else was, you know, already beating, where everyone else had pretty much beat the game. And I'm a big Metal Gear fan, so it's one of those things where like I want to be in the know. Like, not so much before anyone else, but I want to be in the know at the same time everyone else is playing through it, or have beaten it, or in the process of beating it. And, I mean, I've played Ground Zeroes on the PS4 before, which is pretty much the prequel to Metal Gear Solid 5, and it runs very well. But I would have preferred it on PC, because then I could get better high-quality footage. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll just suck it up and just go in blindly and try my best not to look at any videos regarding the story for 2 weeks, but I don't think I'd be able to do that. I honestly wouldn't be able to do that. I want to know what everyone knows, pretty much. Yay, we were able to get preemptive on that. They also showed off a really cool collector's edition for Metal Gear Solid 5. It's $100, comes with a the actual bionic arm that Snake uses. Comes with some extra DLC, steelbook case, soundtrack, map. Pretty much, it's worth it for $100 because like most collector's editions are like $200 plus. $100 you get that plus all those multiplayer downloadable contents. Really good stuff. Really, I had to activate those statues just so that the fire would extinguish. I could have just used the magic that I had to extinguish it. Oh snap. We cut off its tail. Not today. But yeah, I'm very excited for Metal Gear Solid 5. I'll be doing like a short playthrough of Ground Zeroes at some point. I was planning to do it before the release of Metal Gear Solid 5, just to recap. But it's not really that big of a contributor to the story. It's more like a showcase, a demo. A glorified demo that they charged $40 for. And I don't completely agree that they did that, but I don't know, as a fan, it's very hard to complain. Especially when you've been waiting for a game like this to come out for such a long time. But on the bright side, they get me time to like play other games, like finish Type 0 when that comes out. I'm definitely going to do Bloodborne when that comes out as well. I'm a big Dark Souls fan. I played Demon Souls on the PS3. By far, I think Demon Souls was the better one of the 3 existing games. Only because it was a little bit harder, I believe. It actually had this mechanic where like every time you died, it would just make the game harder. And there was no way to revert it unless you played PvP. And they're re-releasing Dark Souls 2 in the form of I think it's pretty much their version of the Game of the Year edition. It's called Scholar of the First Sin, comes with all the DLC, plus the new DLC. And it pretty much improves a lot of the graphical glitches that were present on the PS3 and the 360, and on the PC. Believe it or not, this version of the game was supposed to it's supposed to replace the current PC version because of the graphical limitations and the glitches that they had. So pretty much Scholar of the First Sin is the ideal version you'd want to play if you wanted to see how the game was supposed to look, like the intended look of the game. So I'm excited to get in on that too. That's supposed to come out sometime in April. So there's quite a lineup before all the other stuff comes out, so I'll be playing those games for a while, especially Bloodborne, if it's as extensive as Dark Souls or Demon Souls. There are a lot of people in the community that are kind of hesitant about Bloodborne because it kind of looks like a simplified version of Dark Souls or Demon Souls. But to me, just because the game looks simplistic doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be an easy game. I mean, much of the gameplay mechanics seem a little bit more refined, especially with the dual wielding mechanics. You could hold a projectile weapon in one hand, like a gun, and then you have a melee weapon in the other. Plus you have that procedurally generated dungeon where like it's gonna look different every time you play through it. Plus 3-player co-op, I mean that's kind of a low player count to me. It would have been cool if it was like 4 or 5-player co-op, but I could see why it's only 3 because some of the environments look like it would only be able to accommodate 3 players at a time anymore, and things would just get a little bit too clustered. But I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff to be excited for coming out in these couple of months ahead of us. Especially Tokiden. I mean, I played it on the Vita. If you guys aren't familiar with Tokiden, it's very similar to Monster Hunter, where you take on missions. There's a lot of crafting involved. It's a very I don't want to say grindy, but I mean that's part of it. And that comes out too this month, so I'm not so sure if I'm gonna get that right away. Alright, now these things are a thorn on my side because we've encountered these guys before. They buff you, they debuff you, then they attack you, and they do a lot of physical damage. Just want to kill them as quickly as possible. And we did exactly that. Only 4 stars though. It's one of those things where you have to go up, and then you gotta go down, and then you gotta go up again. This dungeon actually reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy X's architecture. And as I said before in a previous video, the art style was, I think, done by the same person that worked on Final Fantasy X. So a lot of these, like, you know, environmental designs are similar because of that very reason. Just gotta go to the other side here. Yes, Hope, I know. No need to tell me. And you got these guys, like, running around like crazy. I don't even know what these things are. Oh, they're more Seath. That was quick. I killed the first guy, like, within seconds. Like we have to go all the way up, activate the last statue, then go all the way down. Because the only way to get to the top is to take the middle elevator. And the statue's right over there. No, go away. Those big guys aren't that tough to fight, but they take forever to kill. Based on what I recall back in the day. Now I can get to the actual top of the tower. I think that hunt was completely optional, like, I don't think I really needed to do it. All I really needed to do was to activate that one statue. Now this thing, it looks like it has nipples. This thing is very magic oriented. And it forms a barrier, you gotta break the barrier before even doing any damage to it. And like so, pretty much keep casting spells at it until it staggers. And for whatever reason you can't juggle this. How many more statues do I need? I think regardless, I still have to activate these statues, or complete the hunts that these statues assign me. Yeah, I can't progress forward unless I get the last statue. Which is all the way on the opposite side. It's kind of a drag. Oh, it's actually over here. Not so far. Nope, get away from me. Okay, it's over here. Seems easy enough, it's just a bunch of bats. Alright, so now I could actually go back there. Well, obviously, if they're going out of their way to defeat that creature for you. Now everyone's running off on their own. Oh man, I dodged that like a pro. Gonna save because there's a boss battle up ahead. Optionally, you could go to the 5th tier and do some more of the hunts, but not necessary this time around. You could always do that at a later time. I wanted to avoid that, but whatever. They call it a vampire, but it looks nothing like a vampire. Didn't even need to stagger it. Alright, we're here at the very top, and of course we're going to be fighting the boss soon, which will be here at the center. Kinda looks like an owl. At least the top part looks like an owl, with like a bottom half mouth. Whoa. Now the name doesn't really sound familiar, so this may be just like a new monster they created for this game. The Haka. I'm just gonna go completely aggressive and see what happens. Seems pretty vulnerable now. Better play it safe before I get too cocky. Gonna buff and debuff as much as possible. Uh-oh. It raised its magic ability. No. Yeah, Asuna, everybody. I at least want to keep my stagger up, you know? Gonna debuff it again, and then I'm going to rebuff everyone else. Gonna try to stagger it again. It's almost there. Oh shit. No, stagger it. Nice. Attack the crap out of it. It's over. I got this. Wow, I got like the lowest rating possible from that.
さっきみたいな化け物が他にもいるって意味でしょうか。らしいな。どうやらグランパレスのどこか。
早速行っちまった。どでかいくせに世話しねえや。
あいつらなりに戦ってんのかもな。グランパルスを守るためによ。私たちも戦おう。私たちなりにな。この先がオルバ峡ですね。
どんなところなんだ。
小さいけど緑に囲まれた暖かいふるさと。
ファルシの周りは一面花畑だったな。
それにしちゃこりゃ。
Yup.
待ってるか。
ちゃんと見ておきたいから。
It's all barren wasteland, pretty much.
何にもない。
みんな幻か。烙印を止める方法だって。
まだ道はあるだろう。
最後まで確かめましょう。僕たちはそのために来たんだ。自分で決めてたどり着いた。
夢でも本当になる？
信じましょう。
It's up to Hope to give
前
hope.
だけ見てろ。分かってるっつうの。
さあ、こいつに乗れば楽に進めるんじゃねえかな。
乗ってくか。おっさんの足腰が心配だもんな。
お優しいね、こん野郎。
I like how it's not even on a track and it took them all the way over there. Alright guys, I'm going to end it here for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Like I said, we're going to be wrapping things up fairly soon, because I know right after this village is where we have to choose between going to the end game or not. At least I think there's one more dungeon or city that we need to go to, but in any case, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.